I like that I can afford to be where I'm at right now. I don't want to live like this forever. This is just me doing what I've got to do for myself right now. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, then I'll figure it out. Even if you don't have it figured out, you will never actually figure it out. That's how I go through life. I'm just like, I don't know. I always end up figuring it out. I'm still here. There's a lot of times where I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to figure this out. And then I always figured it out. I have gotten too high again. No one has ever taught me how to work out. I've always just gotten everything I do off YouTube. Just assumed that I was doing it right. But I'm having to pop and like stretch everything all the time. I mean, is that normal? I'm constantly in public, just like, I like stand with my leg as a tree, like all the way up to like my hip. I'll like slide my foot and like sit on my foot while standing. I don't know, it just feels good to me to stand like that as opposed to just standing like a normal person. I can't like remember if I've ever seen anyone else stand like that. I'll just put all the different poses of how I sit so that y'all can understand the type of person that I'm talking about. Like, is this how people who do yoga sit, or is this something I need to know about? It's kind of like how guys, when they sit like this, like there's like a stereotype. I put BoJack Horseman on. I wasn't the same after I finished the show the first time, even the second time. It's just so creative. I'm just like, how do they do it? Oh yeah. I'm watching Gilmore Girls now, and it's finally going in the direction I want it to. I knew they weren't gonna leave us hanging, but like, I got fucking pissed off in season 6. Christopher got insufferable. Did anyone like Chris? Because he wasn't a total bad guy, but he was just something about him that I just couldn't stand. And it wasn't there in like season 1 when he first came up. I kind of thought he was cute. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be crazy for Luke. He just got progressively worse. Was that how everyone felt? I loved it whenever Lorelai's mom was like, Christopher's childish. You go, Emily. That was it. I couldn't even figure it out the whole time. And then Logan. Do we all hate Logan? I don't know why I hate Logan. I just don't like him. If he was played by Chad Michael Murray, that would have made it way better if they brought that guy back into the story. God, though, if it had been him, I wouldn't be surprised if they were originally gonna cast him and he just like couldn't do it because he was on that other show, One Tree Hill or whatever. My therapist bailed on me. She sent a mass email to all of her patients, one of those no reply emails, saying that it has been a pleasure serving us, but she's no longer working for. And she didn't say where she was going. So we're all just like in this mass email like, what the fuck do we do now? There were probably people in that email that have been going to her for years. We're all just like, fuck man, that's the only one our insurance covered. This is bumming everybody out. Man, I hate Crayola colored pencils. They suck. They call them matte pencils. That always pissed me off when teachers were like, get out your matte pen. Get the matte pen. What? They're colored pencils, colored crayon. I hated it when people called them crayons. Stop that right now. Or crown. A crown. That annoyed me at that, but I'm an adult, so most people aren't discussing crayons. So this isn't something that pisses me off often. I don't know if it just came off that way, but it pissed me off often when I was a kid. I was like, fuck, they did it again, Mom. And my mom would have like a weird name for it. She mispronounced everything in her own way. We even have it in our family. We have what we call Joanne sayings. Joanne's my mom's name. We're like, is that like a Joanne saying? I can never remember things when I'm trying to remember. Sometimes I weirdly remember things. Like, I have a bag of tea, a TeaBag, that I have been lugging around with me with all my crap that I lug around. Anyway, like, I have my shit that I lug around. This TeaBag, I don't know where I got it. I just have one sachet. It was the Immune Blackberry Herbal Tea from Yogi. I have been lugging this TeaBag around since, like, November, maybe. And I have not forgotten about it. And then at this house I've been at for, like, a week. And I just remembered the TeaBag. Out of nowhere. I was like, oh yeah, I have that one TeaBag. I knew how many I had too. I was like, I have that one. And a few packets of Cholula. I remember those every time. I've had those Cholulas with me since like October. Anytime the airlines have them and I see them, I always grab like 8 of them. And I will keep those with me forever and ever. There was a comedian in Dallas that told me, don't, or just be you, just do you. I don't know, that could be a good way to be. I don't know what's a good way to be. Just have fun. I don't spend a lot of time on the West Coast, so I don't know what those crowds are like. But I know when I did Irvine, they were tough, pretty tough. I was in a really bad headspace though, like my mom died, so she did though. It was like the day she died. I had to go and like open up for this headliner. I wanted this comic to like me so badly that I just did everything he said. He was the first comic to like take me to multiple clubs. He would tell me that every time I go on stage, I have to do something new. He doesn't want to see me use the same closer or do the same opener. I have to be getting better, you know? He was always like, keep writing or make your jokes better. And honestly, working with him did help me, but it didn't help me to stay on the road with him. I was going up to a cold audience, like I was the first person on stage, and I would do 5 minutes and he kept telling me, you have to write more, you have to do more stuff. And I was like, oh fuck, like I don't know. And so I would just like freak out and just like do everything he told me to do, because I was just like, I don't know, this is my first road experience, so I did not know how to act. And I don't know, everything this dude said, I was like me, like, don't fire me. Like, I just looked at it as like a job opportunity, and he was my new boss. Yeah, I did everything he said. So as a result, like, I was having the worst time of my life on stage when I was on the road with him. Like, looking back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. With like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, people can be super young and be a comic now. Before, it was like kind of had to be like a fucking grown up, you know? You had to pretty much get on fucking Carson to be considered a comedian. There was only like 8 of them. Like, we're not just a bunch of old guys in suits and ties anymore. I mean, it's badass, obviously. Apparently I'm bad at math, which I didn't know, because I used to think I was really good at math. I was helping people cheat in geometry. Or no, I got good at algebra. That was it. It went downhill after that. I didn't get geometry or shapes. I was like, calculus what? Put me in fucking special topics. I don't want to do this. I was like, I'm not gonna do whatever calls for this in life. I'm like not the dumbest person, but like I hate saying the word like. I'm not saying people who are dumbasses do it, but I just feel like it's not good to do. I don't think as adults we should be talking like that. Like, I don't think we should bring that into the adult era because we're the new adults. I hate when I do that, when I like talk about it and then I can't think about anything else. I get to the hotel and then I'm like, oh my God, there's a bar. It smells like cigarettes. And I used to be a smoker and I grew up with a smoker, but it's awful. I hate it. There's a little bit of nostalgia here. I feel like gasoline on a summer afternoon, that's like a bad smell probably, but it's like a good bad. I don't know, there's like a lot of nostalgia with that smell, and it just reminds you of every single summer you've ever had since you were a kid. But the smoking is kind of like I maybe like the smell of smoking for 20 seconds. For like a second, I'm like, mom's car. I got this job, and it is the most basic job you can think of for like a 16-year-old. I got this job and I was just like, yes, just go with it. Just go. I was just so glad I didn't have to DoorDash anymore. It's the wear and tear on the car for me. I had so much stress about that the entire month and a half that I was doing DoorDash. Because because there's nothing I hate more than car trouble. Because I know I'm gonna spend the money. I know I'm gonna spend it. I somehow always have it. I feel like my car can smell when I'm making money. It's like, oh, I see you have just enough to take care of me. I feel lucky that it happens when I do have the money. But like, it's a little rude. I hope she doesn't hear me. My car is old as fuck though. It has roll-up windows. I have roll-up windows. I have locks that you have to push in and out. So I always have to tell people to lock their doors when they get in and out of my car. And most of them never listen to me. The only person that does is my sister, because it was her car first. That's interesting that cops on horses is a downtown thing. I've only seen that downtown. Only. I think they might be props.